In this video lecture, we'll be learning moment of a force in the vector approach. So we have these three axes x, y and z, and we have these 3 points a, b and c. Let us say that the force is passing from point b to a, and I want to take the moment of this force about point c. Okay, so the general definition of the moment says that it is force into the perpendicular distance from the point c to the line of action of the force, right? And moment is a vector because it has a direction and it has a magnitude. So moment is actually a cross product between the displacement vector and the force vector. The force vector we have here with us, the displacement vector it has to start from the point from where we are considering the moment to be taken. That is, here it is the point C. So the displacement vector should always start from the point where the moment has to be taken, or we call it as a moment center. So it is starting from point C and it is ending on point B. Now the interesting thing here to note is that I did not say that this dCB, which is a displacement vector from C to B, is perpendicular to F. I didn't say this, but according to the definition, the distance has to be perpendicular. But in vectors, we get this advantage of choosing a displacement vector which is not perpendicular, but which is we can actually join from C to any point on the line of action of this force. So we get this freedom in vectors of not only having a perpendicular, but we can actually join from C or from the moment center to any point which is there on the line of action of the force. Okay, so moment is cross product of D and F, and we take this displacement vector from moment center to any point on the line of action. Now why is that so? If the definition of the moment itself says that this distance has to be perpendicular, then why I can take vector on any other point? This lies on the vector mechanics. See, so moment being a vector, it has two components. First is it will be having a magnitude. Second, it has a direction. The direction of the moment is given by the right hand thumb rule. The right hand thumb rule says that if you curl your fingers in the direction of these two vectors, then the thumb will be pointing in the direction of the resultant vector. So here the resultant vector is your moment, and this is the direction of the rotation for your moment, which is given by right hand thumb rule, like this, correct? This takes care of the direction, but what about the magnitude? The magnitude of two vectors which are having cross product is given by FD sine theta. So it is actually, as I told you, that I need not take only from C to B, rather I can take from C to any point on this force. So let us say that I take the displacement vector from C to A. Now the magnitude of two vectors which are having cross product is given by the area of the parallelogram that these two vectors form. So if I see them from the top, I will get this B, A and C. I will be seeing B, A and C like this. So from B to A, my force is passing. From C to A, I have my displacement vector. I can form a parallelogram with these two consecutive vectors, having theta as the angle between them. So the area of this parallelogram is going to give you the magnitude of your moment vector. Okay, so I'll just repeat again. Moment vector is going to have magnitude and the direction. The direction is given by the right hand thumb rule. The magnitude is given by the area of the parallelogram that these two vectors form. How to get the area of the parallelogram now? Consider A and B are two sides of this parallelogram. So to simplify the area, let me just convert this into area of a rectangle. So this vertical will be B sine theta. Okay, A into B sine theta is going to give me the area of parallelogram. How? See, A into B sine theta is the area of this rectangle. This much area of triangle which is not a part of parallelogram that I am considering, and this much area of triangle which is a part of parallelogram, that I am not considering. So they both complement each other and they both cancel out each other. Therefore, we at the end we get the area of parallelogram as AB sine theta. Similarly, applying the same concept here, I will be getting the area of this parallelogram as FD sine theta, where d sine theta is this distance. So d sine theta is actually the perpendicular distance from point C to the line of action of your force. So we are not going anywhere against the definition of moment. The definition of the moment still remains the same, and it is force multiplied by the perpendicular distance from point C to the line of action of force. Just in vectors, we get the advantage of choosing our displacement vector on any point on the line of action of our force. Okay. So thus it is seen that even if we take displacement vector anywhere along the line of action of the force, the magnitude will always be product of force and perpendicular distance from moment center to the line of action of force. Now, coming to the cross product itself, let me first define the displacement vector and the force vector. So let's say displacement vector is ai cap plus bj cap plus ck cap, and force vector is di cap plus ej cap plus fk cap. So the cross product would be given as the determinant of ijk abc def. This is how we get the cross product. Okay, so finally what you will get is I cap into, I cancel out this first row and first column, bf minus ce, then minus j into af minus cd, then plus k ae minus bd. This is how I will get the moment vector, right? This is just general cross product rule. Okay, now this would be the final vector of what I'll be getting, right? This is the moment vector that I've got. Now, moment in its vector form is not as important for me, because what I actually need is what is the value of the moment about a particular axis. That is what I need, right? See, if there is a force which is there and I want to take the moment at this point, let us say the distance between them is 5 meters and the force is 10 meters, 10 newtons, I'm sorry. So the moment at this point will be 10 into 5, which is 50 Newton meter is the value of the moment, and this is more important to me. And along with this, along with the value, what is important is the axis of the rotation. That is how along which axis am I getting this value. So the axis of the rotation, anything that rotates is going to definitely have an axis. So this, the rotational effect of the force is also going to have the axis. The axis of the rotation here is this axis. This is the axis of the rotation about which we are getting 50 Newton meters. So two important things. First, which axis and how much. How much is the moment about that axis. These are the two important things that I need when I am finding a moment. That about which axis the moment is taking place and how much is the value of the moment. So how to get these two answers from this vector? The answer is, to get value of moment about any axis, we need to take dot product between moment vector and unit vector along that axis. So if I want to get the moment value about x-axis, I will have to take the dot product of this moment vector with the unit vector along x-axis, which is I cap. So moment about x-axis is m bar dot I cap, which is, this is m bar and dot I cap. So the rule of this dot product rule is that I dot I is equal to j dot j is equal to k dot k is equal to 1, right? And I dot j is equal to I dot k is equal to j dot k is equal to 0. So if I multiply this I inside, this I and I, this will form 1. This I dot j is going to have 0. I dot k is going to have a value of 0. So I'll get finally Bf minus Ce Newton meter of value of moment about x-axis. Similarly, I can find the value of moment about y-axis, which is Af minus Cd, and negative of AF minus CD, because there is a negative sign here, and the moment about Z axis will be m bar dot k cap, which will be AE minus BD, and all these values will have their respective units, if it is Newton meter or it is kilonewton meter or whatever are the units of force and distance that you are taking into consideration. So this is the concept of moment of a force in vector. In the next lecture, we will be solving a numerical in three dimensions, in which we will be finding the resultant as well as we will be finding the moment. Okay, till then, take care. Thank you.